All right, good evening, everybody. So thank you for joining us. Tonight, for the main part of the meeting, we'll be going over the game design bout. So the winners were Amaya, who else was it? Programmer. And then, forgot that one person. And then also below, right? Yeah. And then outside of that, we're also going to be going over the games design, Monochrome's design. So we'll be discussing the overworld build as well as the battle build. And then what our plans are for diving into the Kickstarter with a vertical slice build of the current overworld demo. And then, all right, so just a few announcements before we get to the main part of the meeting. So one, so Nick, you want to pull up like the updated imagery and then share screen so you can see that? Awesome. And then two, so the item and move bout is still going on. If you're in the workshop lobby Discord, then you should see a channel called #item_move_bout. In there, you should see a link to the Notion doc. The Notion doc essentially has categories such as memes, ads, and then comics. And underneath each of those categories, there are topics such as like auto waking up or a story with Rael. Essentially, what you have to do for the item move bout is create the category based on the topic, and then you should also see a submission form. So if the topic was like auto waking up, the category was comics, you would make an auto waking up comic and then submit it into the submission form. So right now we have had quite a few approvals. So we are still updating that documentation. We have probably some client work towards the end of this week and also the game design bout. But we're going to be adding the approved submissions to the item move bout documentation. And then we also already updated the item move bout with the updated pay structure for if you have multiple submissions. So essentially, I believe it was if you do like 5, 10, 25 submissions, you get that exact money until it gets up to like 100. Then I believe it starts curving down a bit. So if you do like 100 submissions, you get closer to like $75 in payout. But you can see that on the item move bout documentation. So now there's rewards for just submitting an item in a move, you get $4. Again, if you submit multiple, such as like 5 or 10, you get an extra $5 to $10. And then if you're not currently in the workshop, you also get allowed into the workshop, I believe if it's more than like 10-ish submissions. And then outside of that, if you're in the workshop, you also get a bonus payout for any extra submissions that would have awarded you the workshop membership. And then so outside of that, we are still doing the marketing bout. Oh wait, I just explained the marketing bout, didn't I? Well, so everything I said was for the marketing bout. The item move bout is a competition where you submit item and moves via Airtable form. So essentially with that, you should see for the marketing bout, you'll see the documentation for the marketing bout channel. For the item move bout, it's still the item move bout Discord channel. And essentially, when you go into that Notion doc, you should see information about the game, various different item types such as healables, infinibles, and giftables, and then also the various move types such as immediate music, tragic action, immediate action, and so forth. And there's also a submission template. So with the submission template, we're not looking for you to completely fill it out, although that would be great. Essentially, in order to submit for the item move out, all you have to do is have a rough idea. So like a very funny name, a loose gameplay description, or even just a sketch. And then you can fill out the template, or if you're just doing text-based, you can just make a text file or a document file, and then submit to the Airtable form. And then so currently, last time we checked, we were at about maybe 30 to 40 submissions. So we are still trying to get at least probably another 60 to 75 submissions. So if you've already submitted, don't be afraid to submit a lot more. And then again, we'll be awarding out rewards to come later this week. And then, for the item move bout, we will be rewarding rewards later this week. And then for the marketing bout, the rewards are going to be happening at the end of the month. Okay, so any questions about the bouts? All I see is Subi Stash. Can you go?
Yes. Yeah. So these are some of the latest Kickstarter assets in the works. So we showed this in the earlier meeting, but we have Suki Stash here. Dr. Cool Guy's been working on this. Fantastic job. This is essentially one of the hero assets for this character. So this is essentially the final pose that we're going to be done with. But of course, this will all be a silhouette except for the teeth. just to really hint at the main villain. There's a few more views. Oh, yeah, we'll get a few. And then this is a first draft for the main poster for the Monochrome RPG. Really excited with this, how it's coming out. We have the main cast down here at the bottom. We have the villains up here. And then we have the stash up at the top. So really excited with how this is coming out.
This was made by Greta.
Yep, this is made by Greta. She's also doing the storyboarding and animatic right now. She's kind of leading that charge, so she definitely has the style Monochrome down pat.
And then somebody asked what species is Lestat. So there are very, very few humanoid tunes in vaudeville, and Lestat is like almost a pure humanoid tune. Again, very rare species in vaudeville.
This is also an updated design for Damsel. This is one of the hero assets for her character. So essentially for primary characters, we have animated versions of these. For secondary and tertiary characters, it is a static front-on perspective kind of view. But this is the rough style we're going for. This is also an update of her base character design, a combination with some concepts that Dr. Kogai came up with before, and then also the original designs that EB came up with. So really liking how this is coming out so far. This is a first draft for the Monochrome RPG soundtrack. So we're going to have Otto right front and center with Smolder and Rael playing instruments, and then of course the Gackle with a tambourine kind of slithering down from the top. So really like how that's coming out as well. These are some concepts for posters. So this is Smolder. We have Rael, and we have Otto. So these will be some fun primary character posters. These are getting updated a bit just to reflect their personalities a little bit more, but really liking the style. This is a first mock-up of the stage. Right now we have one of our 3D artists in the workshop working on basically a textured and updated version of this. So this is essentially how we're going to be displaying the battles. So this particularly is one of the main battles of the boss. So this the crowd is involved with the whole process. So there will be different little interactions that play off of a crowd-like mechanic on top of just the regular battle system that we're working on. So this is one of the 3D mockups that we're doing. The other 3D mockup is a standard environment that you would enter into if you were to encounter an enemy anywhere else in Otto's house. This is just for the final stage. Another concept for some stash, and that's all the latest updates.
And then, all right. So, do you want to pull up Firefox and then Airtable for the game design Bout submission?
Yeah.
And then, so what we're going to be doing is for the game design Bout, which was launched, I believe, in early August. The winners, so one, we got 2 submissions. They were again from Amaya, and then can you click on the name so I can read it? The one above. Open.
Yeah, we have programming.
Program.mp4. So Amaya, program.mp4, and below will be all cohesive winners of the game design Bout. So essentially what they're going to be tasked to do is they're going to be taking both of the concepts, Project Beyond and then the other one, and then combining them into one cohesive idea. So what this idea will eventually become over time is the next workshop game. So we will continue, of course, to work on Monochrome and then Monochrome Episode 2 and Monochrome Episode 3. But while those are in development, we have to make sure to keep releasing titles out. So we're going to turn this into a casual game that's going to be for multiple players, at least 8, probably more. So essentially with Project Beyond, just giving a loose synopsis, we'll be linking these later. So Project Beyond is a game that's focused more, actually wait, is Amaya on the call? Yes. Right. You want to unmute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's Jake Lemon. Again, just unmute both of you. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, hey both of you. So if you would like, you can give a synopsis, like an overview of what Project Beyond is.
Yes. So we basically created this entire game out of the whole. What you wanted us to do was to connect players, right, and make sure everyone could interact with each other in the most unique way possible. And what Project Beyond is that we took that concept and we sort of gave it a sort of spiritual take. So with Project Beyond, it's been a huge catastrophe has befallen Earth 100 years ago. And the whole thing with that is that the humans that have died have their souls are still on Earth, at least a lot of them. And the player is essentially a human that has traveled to the astral realm. And what the astral realm is that taking concepts from various religions, we've designed it to be as they're essentially a guardian and an astral spirit. And multiple humans essentially are coming together as astral spirits, and they're journeying down to earth as astral animals, which is essentially their spirit animals, because the humans on earth, their souls aren't exactly at peace yet because of the catastrophe that's happened. And we don't give too many details about that currently because we're developing that ourselves. This has just been the span of 1 month developing this, so things are still constantly changing. And the whole thing with Earth is that part of the reason the catastrophe has happened is because of this being called the corruption. And what the corruption is doing is that it's taking these human souls and it's awakened again after 100 years, after, you know, being in constant slumber. And what it's doing is that it's taking these human souls and it's sort of feeding into their insecurities and desires and giving them that that power to essentially not move on into the beyond and to just staying on earth and corrupting it entirely. Like they don't want to pass on to the other side. And what the astral spirits, what their job is, what the player's job is to put these human souls to rest at peace. And they do this by taking the form of their spirit animal and journeying back to earth and essentially putting these human souls to rest. And apart from the human souls, it's also specific animals on Earth that have evolved because of Earth's catastrophe. They've changed to adapt to its surroundings, its habitats. And the human souls that have been corrupted by this corruption, they're taking control of specific animals as well to latch onto a life source. So there's animals being corrupted as well. There's the biomes on Earth being corrupted as well. It's feeding them into that. And what the player's job is to undo all of that and also essentially discover why they themselves are an astral animal. Why have they been chosen to undertake this task? And through this, players will be interacting through the astral realm, which is their home base, and they'll be journeying together back to Earth to undo this catastrophe. That's essentially a very small gist. And I'm sorry if this doesn't cover everything that's in the document. I'm just pretty overwhelmed right now to collect myself.
No problem. And then Jake, did you have any words?
No, you pretty much got the gist of it.
Great.
Yeah, there's a lot to this document that was made in the span of 1 month. So, and yeah, we just came to know last night about all this that we won. So yeah, just trying to collect myself here. But if this document is being shared, please take a look through it. There's a lot more that I haven't said that's in on this. It's a pretty long document. And I hope it's interesting since apparently you guys find it interesting, which is crazy.
All right, awesome. So we're going to go ahead and mute both of you, and then we're going to give Brooke Elo the same chance to go over their submission.
Sure. Awesome.
Alrighty, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. And then,
Sorry for cutting you off there.
okay.
Hi,
Hey, Brooke.
how's it going?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Awesome. So you want to give a brief overview about Tumbledown?
Yeah, sure. Before I get into it, like Project Beyond, awesome idea. It was really, really cool. I got a chance to read a little bit over the doc that was on the shared screen, but yeah, super cool idea. And so yeah, just give a little bit of an overview about Tumbledown. It's basically a casual multiplayer battle royale style game where the objective is that it's a competition where you compete against other players, and the objective is to knock other players off of a high-rise platform. And basically it's kind of inspired from like Fall Guys, Mario Kart, and Super Smash Brothers. And the whole premise of the game is or idea behind it was to create something that both gamers and non-gamers could get into. And you play as like your avatar is this like inflatable bodysuit character, and you can customize it like you can with similar to like the way you can customize your character in Fall Guys. And basically you're all put onto this high-rise platform stage, and there are timed rounds, and basically once the timer starts, you're competing to be the last player standing. And the way that there's sort of the way that the game kind of becomes dynamic is through the use of different box items. And it's like in Mario Kart, you can gain sort of these one-time use abilities to take out other players and knock them off the platform. And then also the stage themselves are meant to pose a challenge to players, where you're not just competing on sort of like a standard arena stage. There are different like obstacle course style stages and different like weather style stages, like you're competing in like on like an iceberg or like on a volcano bed. And it's basically just to add sort of another challenge to players. And I think overall it's meant to be a fun competition that's sort of based on again have this sort of like childhood game, King of the Hill style. And yeah, it's meant to be fun and simple to understand to get gamers who and non-gamers into playing it. And yeah, it was really fun to put together. It's meant to be lighthearted, comical, and provide a lot of like opportunities for replayability as well. So yeah, it was fun to put together and everything.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for the synopsis, and also thank you for the submission.
Thank you so much.
And then, all right. So essentially what we're going to be doing is so everybody will be splitting the base reward. However, we're going to be essentially doubling the reward, and then everybody as a team will be submitting a new updated version of the design. And then that will be the reward for that updated design. So essentially, Nick will be reaching about the current reward, and then he'll also be reaching out about contracts for the ongoing work of the updated design. And then the main focus of the design, because I did see a few people wondering how we were looking like to combine it. So essentially, we're looking at the core gameplay of Tumbledown with its like relatively simple game loop that we can expand upon with like awesome physics-based gameplay. It's like 3D, so all of that. And then we want like the unique story and world of Project Beyond. So then we have this relatable IP that people can grasp onto as they're enjoying that core game. And then we definitely want the narrative to influence the gameplay. And then, all right. So like I said, Nick will be reaching out about that come the next few days. And yes, thank you all three for the entries. And then, all right, so game design. So you want to play the overall, like give a synopsis of it?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna go into now is the game design for Monochrome's overworld build. So essentially, this is the build that everybody's been playing since they probably joined the lobby in and of itself. But we're just going to go over it one more time for those that might be new to it. So the overworld build, so Monochrome as a game loop is split into the overworld and the battle world. The overworld is where the majority of the gameplay happens. So that's where you're going to be like walking throughout the world, interacting with various tombs, taking on any quests. And then outside of that, also just progressing through the core story. And then the battle world is where the core gameplay happens. So that's going to be once Otto and their troop go on stage and they start stage battling, acting against another troop or just a freelance actor. So the build that Nick's opening is again the build that we've had since like prior to summer. Come the next few weeks, we're going to be updating this with the battle build. So this build, when we first made it, was focused on updating the loose story of Monochrome. So our point was we were okay with the game loop, the gameplay being a little lacking because we wanted to make sure that we were getting the art and the story across so that people could get a sense of the world that we were trying to build because it is more of a narrative-focused game. We're really focused on using turn-based combat as a segue to the various bits of story and world building as a whole. And then, yeah, Kyle, this is gameplay. So we're watching Nick go through the demo that's currently available on itch.io. I believe it's in some of the info channels, maybe not the game info channel, but welcome or somewhere around there. And then so what we're going to be doing with this core build going forward, again, so right now, one, there is a script for this build that was written before summer. We have now, over summer, updated this script to make it more cohesive to the overarching story of Otto's journey in the maniacal morning. So we're going to be re-implementing the dialogue that you'll see. We're going to keep a lot of the core dialogue, especially related to things that happened before the basement, but a lot of the basement dialogue is going to be updated. One, to show off more characters such as Smolder and Rael, and also hopefully like the octopus bartender. And then we're also going to be enhancing the world with updated designs for the buzzer, the creeper, and we're going to be adding more enemies besides the buzzer and the creeper so that there's less repetition throughout the battles.
And we're also updating a lot of the art for the vertical slice, so a lot of these characters are going to be updated. So very excited for that. We're also going to be doing some updates to the background as well, just to get everything more cohesive.
So then Nick right now is about to start the first fight inside of the demo. And then this is, again, the old battle system. For those of you that have been active in the workshop lobby, you have probably played the updated battle build. So again, you know, this is the old battle system. What we're essentially trying to do here was just showcase the difference between like, oh, I'm able to like hurt an enemy versus, oh, I'm able to joke/heal an enemy in order to get them to become part of my troop. And then, okay, so other things we're going to be adding besides the updates to the battle system are, one more time, a quest system. So we're going to make it so that the player always knows what they're supposed to be doing by having some sort of heads up display, probably to the top left or top right, that just showcases and tells them where they're supposed to be heading. And then outside of that, the player will be able to access a quest log so that then they have more info on the activities they're supposed to be going to do. And then we're also going to be adding an inventory to Otto. So after this creeper dialogue, Otto will be able to go into the kitchen to begin picking up items that they can use in battle to help heal their health or to help restore or lower their affinity. And then outside of that, I thought we had one more system.
quest system.
Quest.
Inventory.
And battle. I'm gonna say that's it for now. There might be a surprise system. All right, I don't think we need to go down top of the gaffle.
Yeah.
And then did I see the UI doc? Didn't you see the UI doc, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah, so Darko, I haven't seen it yet. I've been busy writing a giant contract, but I'm going to get back into it on Monday.
Awesome.
Okay, awesome. So again, our goal is going to be to try to update this build. If not, by the Kickstarter, definitely by the end of the Kickstarter. So then we can at least announce that we have an updated build and hopefully get some awareness from that. And then we also want to test what people think of the new battle loop with the core news story and how those are all hopefully cohesive. And outside of that, so this is the battle build that we've been working on for the last 2 to 3 months. So when you click new game, you'll see that there's different difficulties. I did just try the Gackle boss fight. So there are still, we have the base functionality there of like the fans, but we are still going to be updating this. So you can expect one more fight update for the Gackle fight for the Otto's House vertical slice. But all the updates that we've made to the other fights are going to be how the battle system in the Otto's House vertical slice work. So just to start a normal fight. You want to get it?
Yeah.
And then, so essentially, there's a decent amount going on. We hope to introduce, yeah, right? We hope to introduce this to the player over time from like when they start the game to like by the time they fight the Gackle, they understand their core abilities and what they're able to use. The player won't have nearly as many abilities as you're seeing on the screen currently. But essentially, core abilities are just either being able to lower the opponent's guard, which is their health, or being able to lower the opponent's affinity, which essentially acts as their defense. Sorry, increase their affinity, which essentially acts as their defense. So by increasing an opponent's affinity, you're able to deal more guard damage to them. When an opponent lowers their guard all the way, then they're sent off stage and they're like knocked out. So outside of like guard and affinity abilities, we also have some status effect abilities that allow opponents to be put to sleep, to be motivated, to be scared, and a few more various things that add enhancements to the battle as a whole. And then outside of that, you can also see near the bottom, we have a field for consumables, which allows Otto to use healing items and other items that can aid them in battle. So again, this core battle system you're seeing Nick go through right now, we're going to add this to the Otto's House vertical slice and improve some of the loose user interface. I don't think we're going to make an attempt to improve the core move selection user interface just yet, because there's a lot going on there that we have to figure out, but we'll definitely try to enhance the information for the characters. And then outside of everything else I mentioned, the player also has the ability to use entertainment moves such as joke, which allows them to build their troop. And then one second. So essentially, the reason why we started doing easy, hard, and then like a boss fight was so that we could understand how we want fights to progress in our world. Because if you know like Pokemon, in Pokemon you have a wild Pokemon, you have like a trainer, and then you have a gym leader, and then you have like the Elite Four. So we wanted to think about, well, how would that work in the world of vaudeville? So what we've come up with is for super easy and easy fights, you're essentially fighting freelance actors in the world of vaudeville. So they're tunes who don't have a troupe but would like to join the troupe. So then Otto will be able to entertain that actor and have them join the troupe. And then normal and hard fights are going to involve enemy troops. So these will be troops full of actors that also have stars. So they're able to use moves that are technically outside their type, just like Otto is. So those fights are more difficult than fighting a freelance actor. And then you have boss fights. We are going to have, by the end of the game, 2 variations on boss fights. For this vertical slice, we're going to have one type of boss fight, and that's going to be the Gackle boss fight, which essentially has you want to go over it, Nick? Okay. So essentially, when you go into a boss fight, a staged boss fight, these are like non-blink spook boss fights because blink spooks don't have troops. But Vaudevillian boss fights, you're going to have the boss, like the Gackle, to the top right, and then you're also going to have fans in front of the boss. And then so the boss, if you notice, the UI is a little bit different. So Auto and the Gackle, does the Gackle actually have an affinity meter right there? I think so. But anyway, so essentially, Auto and the Gackle won't really have affinity meters. We're going to move the affinity meter from below the Gackle more to the center UI. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to entertain the boss's fans. And if Auto has fans, the boss is trying to entertain Auto's fans. Essentially, the fans will act as affinity, but you're entertaining the fans more so than the boss. So you have to care more about the fans type than the boss's core type. But when you go to deal guard damage on the boss, you have to care about the boss's type. So this just adds a loose layer to affinity where you have to care more about the crowd when you're battling a boss. But then, of course, you have to care about the boss directly when you go to just finish the boss battle. Yep, it's a joke battle, essentially, like a battle of entertainment. So one thing we are going to be doing right now, it's a little confusing because the old stage UI doesn't have much of a front stage. So the programmers put the fans, like the Gackle's fans, on stage. The fans are actually going to be moved to in front of the stage. So the creeper would actually be in front of the stage on Auto's side, and the buzzer would be in front of the stage on Gackle's side. And the Gackle would be moved up more. And then, of course, we're also going to be adding in a lot of animations so that then the player just has a visual sense of what's happening. So now we leave lobby open for questions. So if anybody has any questions, related to anything we've mentioned, it could be any of the bouts, it could also be the game design, just let us know. I want to. Let me try the Gackle boss. Actually, I'm gonna try the card fight. Yeah. How will the spook fights differ? So essentially, spooks don't have troops because they're not technically from vaudeville. Although it's interesting, insane could potentially have a troop, but we won't go there. So how do spook fights differ? So they don't have a troop, so it's just going to be a fight focused on guard. So Auto will be using their abilities to try to lower the guard of the spook so that the spook then returns to whatever it is. So again, blank spooks, they're able to either possess like random objects and things, or they're able to possess tunes and turn the tunes insane. For at least for the first game right now, we don't have any insane tunes planned. That could be kind of a post-game thing, but we do have 2 blank spooks planned. Can we go over recently approved items and moves? Actually, sure. So let me close this. Yeah. Yeah. And then so this right now is like my personal favorite out of the submissions I've seen so far. So essentially this item got approved. It's called Limelight. You can see right from the name and the design of the item that it's punny, so perfect for vaudeville. And then outside of that, it says anyone can take to the stage if they believe, shine this light onto an enemy actor, and they change into a different random actor. They could be weaker, could be stronger, very low chance it turns enemies into a pile of lives. So you can see from that description, it's a bit interesting of a gameplay mechanic. So we are going to take that and add a slight twist to it, because changing an enemy actor to a completely different actor, that's a bit crazy.
I mean, we have a like dust cloud animation that we can overlay on characters and literally just make it. Yeah,
right. Yeah, okay.
It's a little extra,
but I like the pile of lines bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. I think it would be like random status effects.
Yes.
And then or a pile of lines. I'm okay with the pile of lines. And then, yeah, so this is one example of item. So let's see. So every time Otto uses the guitar. Okay, so Kyle, just so you know, every time Otto uses the guitar, it increases affinity. So essentially, affinity is the damage multiplier. So if Otto uses Strum, the guitar move, they're able to do more damage when they use a guard-based move. And okay, so another item. So Oho Fortuna. So this item was a bit different in that, well, let's see. So allows you to see what your enemy's next 3 moves will be with incredible accuracy. Watch out due to the primitive wiring and rusting gears. There's a slight chance Fortuna will malfunction and become overly chatty and cover parts of the screen with dialogue. So essentially what we were looking at with this one was, instead of maybe being a direct item, we do have a mechanic called crew, which is essentially support like passive members of a troop that give passive abilities. So we're thinking about using this as some sort of passive ability somehow, especially because, again, just love the design, and crew is really meant to be living items. So items that in general Otto would use in battle, because we don't want Otto, like, you know, relatively speaking, eating a living sandwich. So we're trying to make items for use in battle not living. There could be a living one. I just can't think of it right now. You know, rules meant to be broken. But in general, if it's living, we're trying to make that part of the crew. But again, this got accepted because we could see how it could transition into crew. And then there's this one, which is directly, yep, an item, Champopney, right? Champop. And then a confetti popper that looks like a champagne bottle. Everyone loves the gift of confetti. Pop one and feel like you just nailed the best stroke for a few seconds. Cast members can also use in combat to shoot an enemy and guarantee they aren't its next target. So yep, liking this item. Probably gonna focus in on like the next target bit, or maybe some sort of like impressed status from the status effects. And then hidden switch hammer. So sometimes you need the right props and a little bit of force to appeal to the right demographic. Bonk an enemy over the head with this children's toy and their affinity drops to 0. You can then add half of that affinity amount to another enemy's affinity gauge. Okay. And then slapstick. So yeah, we said not too physical moves, but you know, classic comedy is a little physical, so it's one of those things that bends the rules very slightly. But yeah, very directly, slapstick. And then this one's kind of crazy. Spirit board chance. I'll probably and then we're probably just gonna leave it chance, but an extremely rare battle item, rumored to be haunted by spirits from beyond the grave. Its effects differ depending on the letter that appears when used. Can only be used once per battle. C, the player is granted the ability to change stars mid-battle. H, all members of the current cast gain a moderate health boost. A, all enemy AI gain a moderate attack boost. N, negate the effects of all stats afflictions. E, increase the speed of all enemy AI. I thought a little computerish there. We're about it. Is that icon the emoji too? You type beep beep in the icon? Oh, maybe. Yeah, right?
On the Discord, it definitely does.
And then heal sticker. So I did like this one. It sounds like a healing item that you just stick onto yourself. I definitely think we would modify it very slightly to have it heal guard over time, but besides that, love it. And then which one of these? I don't think it was the last one. A ray gun? A special move. No, not that one. And then flapjack. Oh, it was totally the flapjack stack. A delicious stack of pancakes soaked in maple syrup and topped with a slice of butter that would make anyone's mouth water. A perfect gift of affection that will brighten anyone's breakfast menu. And then, so last one we've approved. So lullaby. An effectable item, when the pie is eaten, the user will hear a sleepy lullaby in their head and will become sleepy. It can be comedically thrown at enemy faces. All right, so those are all the items / moves that currently been approved. As you can tell right now, it's a little bit more items than moves. I think as a whole, more items have been submitted than moves, but yeah. For the moves, I would again suggest just looking at, relatively speaking, short verb words. So like an example of a move would be like cry, could potentially be like dance. What's one of your favorite, Nick?
Oh gosh.
Mesmerize?
Yeah.
All right, and then, so any other questions related to the item move bout, the marketing bout, the game design bout, or the core games design? And then just to give a loose timeline on the game design bout, we'll probably be looking to have the design ready prior to Christmas, so that then going into the new year, we can just start on that after the winter break. So right now, stagehands can't submit to the item move bout, but I'm about to lift that rule just due to the number of submissions so far. So yes, Dr. Cool Guy, get ready. I mean, let's just repeal it right now while I'm saying it. Yeah, the rules repealed. So I think Vaughn's on here too. So Vaughn and Dr. Cool Guy, y'all are free, and you guys can tell the other ones. Spread the word. Spread the word. What was like spread the word for like nice, like back in the old day? Yeah, right.
Oh gosh.
Like, you know how people lately are like, don't bend the knee.
Yeah.
I love that, by the way.
Nah.
Yeah, right.
Really dug into holy or Monochrome there.
Is spreading the news like from that song? You know that song? What song, Vaughn?
Yeah, right.
Spreading the news. Yeah, what about Schoolhouse Rock? I'm just a bill. I'm spreading the news. I'm leaving today. We are a great big part of it. New York. Like from Madagascar. Whoa. Yeah, let's rewatch Madagascar just for this. Yeah, right? Okay, will more info be given to us on how we can combine both submissions for the game design? Yeah, man. So essentially what's going to happen, Nick's going to reach out to give all three of you the base reward, and then he's also going to give all three of you a contract for like the other same reward, and then essentially that'll be due probably maybe like first draft sometime in like the next month, second draft one more month, and then we'll try to get like a third draft going before Christmas. And then that'll be that going into the new year. And then when you get that contract, it will have info on how you can combine it. But as you know, we're willing to answer questions. So if you have any questions when all three of you are working on it, totally feel free to send us questions. And we'll also probably, like, all three of you will become an actual design team. So we'll probably start at least one weekly meeting to just check in on how the design's going. Oh, and also, yeah, the work will be recurring. Do you remember the first Madagascar?
Totally.
I don't at all.
Do you know the sequels?
I totally remember the sequels. I know, right? I remember Penguins the most.
Well, nah, I remember the fields of Madagascar.
Yeah, I remember that.
Pretty scene and
What wasn't like the third one? Didn't they like go to Africa, like Central Africa?
I didn't see it.
Whoa! So you saw the first one when they went to Madagascar, like the island with the monkeys.
I did watch the Penguin show.
I don't remember the second one. Maybe the second one was when they went to Africa. Third one, they joined the circuit. Yep. Okay. Whoa, Vaughn, you're a Madagascar fan. Okay. Penguins. Private was the best character.
So
Or King Julian.
definitely going back, but Saved by the Bell.
Whoa, what? Saved by the Bell?
Is an old English term. Like,
Saved by the Bell?
yeah.
Oh wait, I thought we were talking about Spread the News.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. This is just something else in life now. It's pretty interesting. So the bell, they would put a string underneath or attached to someone's coffin when they're buried. They get a little bell that they could ring if they weren't actually dead.
Have you seen, what was it, The Vampire's Assistant or Apprentice? The movie where they literally dug his grave, but he was a vampire, so he got out and then had to fill his grave. Yeah, right? Yes, but it's okay.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Sir, yep. I read the books, dude. I got like book 5. Crazy. Yeah, right, Vaughn. It was great because then he like played like Nintendo or something throughout his funeral.
Yep, definitely have not seen this.
Whoa! Watch it.
Oh,
This is like it's my favorite vampire IP. That isn't an anime. Just getting my anime.
had a pretty fun conversation about the little vampire the other day.
The little vampire?
Yep,
Whoa.
it all got started with the cows that get possessed, and it. You see it right there. Apparently, they had an animated sequel. I'm like, what?
Do I know? Oh, I totally know this. Oh, this was hilarious. This is old.
Whoa.
I was so young. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Too funny. Too funny. Yeah. I forgot that movie existed as well.
Yeah, the animated sequel. It's pretty fire, though. I wouldn't mind. Yeah. That was a crazy movie, man. I never thought to see this ever again. A sequel? It might not be a sequel. It might just be like a remake. And yes, there were vampire cows. I think, was it released in the UK? Yeah. Okay. All right, so yeah, everybody. Meetings generally over. If you have more questions, feel free to ask them. We'll stay on for like another 7-ish minutes. And then there's going to be a anime, modern cartoon,
modern cartoon reference night at 10 p.m.
Thank you, hosting
Right. English is failing me. Oh.
Yeah,
There we
right.
go.
Yeah, right.
Vampire cows from the movie. Look at that. Isn't that great? Look at that. It's early CG. Oh my goodness. Ooh, that's terrifying. Oh yeah, this is them in the barn.
Yeah, right.
You know, bat cows. I love it.
Bat cows? No.
Dude, I swear I've seen a bat cow in old ChickfilA advertising. Remember that one ChickfilA comic book that they came out with all the cows and they had different superpowers? Man, we're like going all over the place right now.
Now I think we're following a pretty straight line.
ChickfilA Superhero.
Cat.
Wait.
What?
No, that's not it.
Okay.
Yeah, ChickfilA Superhero. That's it. Cow superheroes. That's good stuff.
Oh my god. The icy adventures of Cold Cuts.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh, it's you. Chick-fil-A knew how to advertise.
Yeah, what is this? The icy adventures of Cold Cuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are we gonna copy of this?
Right.
The cow millions.
Right.
Oh no. Oh my god. Swattering Cold Cuts.
Yep.
Cow Roddy and untippable.
Yep. they had a whole series.
Decibel.
Yep.
Oh my no. Why would you stop this? It had to have been too much money.
It was 2000.
Too many people wanted it.
Yeah, right.
Leather neck and the speed steer. Little Big Hoof and Cowboy.
Is that the one with there should be one with the giant brain?
I haven't seen one with the giant brain yet, so good to know there's still more. Oh my god, look at this. Look at this cover. That's a cow that's gonna go fast one day. There's no holy cow. That's actually a shot for. Actually, that's not a shot for. Yeah, right. I don't know. I think the first one. I like cold cuts too much.
Yeah.
Cold cuts was literally whoever came up with cold cuts. Oh god. Is he Spider-Man? Is Swatter Spider-Man? He has to be. Look at the tail.
Right?
Yeah, right. This is literally the Spider-Man show. Oh my god. So yeah, everybody, if you ever need to make somebody laugh, just type in ChickfilA Superhero into Google. And also, thank you, Jake Lemon. We look forward to working with you. Gristle Missile. Oh no, was that a thing? Did I miss it? This is amazing. Yeah, we should approach Chick-fil-A and be like, let's do it. Let's do it. You see, I'm glad Ina gets to see cold cuts.
Yes.
Right? If somebody was like, what if vaudeville had superheroes? I would be like, cold cuts is the penultimate. Calmillion. Yeah, you know. Personally, I've always wanted ice powers. Nick and I have always talked about, well, there was a VR game where you could have an ice slide. Right? Oh my god. Imagine sliding on like Frozone. Imagine being Frozone in VR.
And it's totally doable.
Like, it's not. From a programmer perspective, I mean, it's doable, but holy crap.
Yeah.
You're asking for a procedural rail system. I'm literally like, shit, man. It's possible. I'm not the programmer for it. That's day shit. That's graphical programming.
Nah, it's literally like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's calculus.
I can think how it would work, and I know how it would feel. But programming that is...
You're doing physics and calculus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally painting terrain.
Pay $25 to get advanced motion sickness. Whoa, God, come on, we're VR developers. We love motion sickness. What are you talking about? But OMG, yo, we made a superhero in training. You're Spider-Man.
Yes, fun stuff.
Look at that.
You're
You're Spider-Man.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Whoa, motion sickness from Super Hot? Ooh. I mean, okay, Super Hot is I feel like Super Hot is totally one of those games where it's like, you get a bit into it, and then you take off the headset, and you're literally like, whoa, real world physics. I remember that time at work, I played like Super Hot for like 30 minutes, and then I seriously wanted to fight somebody like that. I was like, okay, anybody that gets near me is a threat.
I'm ready.
Exact real world physics. Why are things moving? I'm standing still. Oh, imagine being in a restaurant and then you just come out Super Hot and you're just like, everybody's moving. Oh my god. We're all on different timelines? Or is it the same timeline?
Yeah. Right.
Reality really exists. Get it?
Yes.
Super hot was a mistake. Oh, cause debt. Oh. This is great. I think Super Hot was glorious. Beat Saber was great. Beat Saber came out of nowhere.
It doesn't compare to Super Hot.
I think Super Hot was planned. I think Beat Saber grew astronomically well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hella fun, and they did it perfect. The
But
mods.
nothing makes you feel like a badass more than Super Hot.
What are you talking about? Beat Saber. Have you seen Beat Saber now?
Well, I've seen pros play it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
well,
saying, dude.
There's beginner.
What did you see?
Fucking.
I think that's what when it comes to like action games, I think that's what you have to do. You have to make like pro level play.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And then you have that thing to reach for. You know what I mean? Like Rocket League. Yeah. Like you have pro level play. You have that thing to reach for. I want to be at least.
There is no ceiling.
I said I want to be at. I almost said I want to be at least diamond, and then you're gonna laugh at that, so I stopped myself. Mr. Champ. Yeah. Beat Saber is so fun. Yeah, it is. And yes, it does. Shine on you, you crazy diamond. But all right, so we're gonna start transitioning to the end of the meeting. I'm glad so many people tried VR games. Wow, this is crazy. VR chat auto model. Oh, we totally thought about that. Well, I thought about it. Yes. We should fiber just real quick. Huh. That could be a thing.
The ears have to be very floppy.
Monochrome VR. Huh. No, we gotta make that Minecraft server still. We just do VR Minecraft to make Monochrome VR.
I think I saw a black and white.
Yeah, you did.
From a recent RTX post that Mojang did. So
Really?
they might have something.
I think you already looked into it and you found something.
Yes.
Yeah. But awesome. Yeah, we're just so everybody knows, we're gonna be looking at the Minecraft server as we get closer to the Kickstarter. That's definitely something we want to have for like, just a fun little project for maybe during the Kickstarter, maybe start slightly before the Kickstarter. It's still on our mind, don't worry. And yeah, Minecraft VR was totally going to be a thing. But personally, I think when Microsoft took over Minecraft, they pivoted what they wanted Minecraft to be. So right now, they're trying to split it up in order to increase the overall bandwidth of the IP. That's why we're saying Minecraft X, Y, Z, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Practice that one more time. All right, awesome. So just little bits of when's the Minecraft TCG? Whoa! Mic drop. All right, so just to go over final bits. So yeah, we still have the item move bout. We'll be adding the approvals to that along with a few rejected pieces. Outside of that, the marketing bout is still going on. And both of those bouts will be closing on September 20th, by the way, with the Kickstarter pre-launch party on September 27th and the Kickstarter launch on September 29th. We will be reaching out to the winners of the game design bout, and then for everybody else in the lobby/workshop, we'll be providing more info on how that game design is progressing over like a monthly, maybe every 2-month basis, depending on how far we get into the design going forward. But next month or two, almost solely focused on the Kickstarter. And then as far as the game design goes, so yeah, we're going to be focusing in on the overworld vertical slice going towards the Kickstarter, again, September 29th. That's going to have the improved battle system and inventory system and a quest system. And it'll also have the improved story/dialogue. So that's loosely everything. So then in an hour, we're going to be having the Modern Cartoon Reference Night. On Tuesday, we have the...
Yo, someone recommended a show for the Modern Cartoon Reference Night the other week, and I have it in a notepad, but it has since been buried in other notes. Someone remembers that, posted in the chat. It might have been you, I'm not sure, but
So let it be known, if you told Nick to play a show, it might not get played.
Yeah, right.
What was said show about? Well, love that, you know. And then Amphibia, Owl House. Maybe.
I'll take a look.
Yeah,
I'll take a look.
we can
We'll
try.
Google Play.
Okay, cool. And then Agretzko. Yeah, Agretzko would be for the anime reference night, which happens on Tuesday. And then we have the retro cartoon reference night that happens on Thursday, along with another Q&A. And then next week we're gonna have the Sunday Q&A, where is that what's today's date? 7/13. Yeah, so we'll probably just go over the Kickstarter again, and then we'll probably go over the Kickstarter for the rest of the month, along with other announcements related to the bout. Again, just as we approach the launch of the Kickstarter at the end of the month.
We're gonna have a lot of fun Kickstarter assets to show at the next few Q&A sessions, so definitely stop by to check those out. So very excited for that.
And then also, just one last thing about the marketing bout. I think I also added on the Notion document, the top 3 winners for the marketing bout will be eligible to join the virtual street team for the Monochrome Kickstarter. Essentially, the virtual street team will get we'll get paid. We'll get paid for doing marketing, along with so they get paid in money and rewards for doing marketing over the month of October for the Kickstarter. So, you know, completely non-mandatory, but if you like a little bit of money plus an awesome virtual street team t-shirt and some other rewards, definitely recommend to be a part of it. And then for those that aren't in the top 3 winners for the marketing bout, there we go. We're going to be opening a public forum for the other spots in the virtual street team. So if you don't win the marketing bout, there will be a public forum for joining the virtual street team. Yeah, we're probably going to be, virtual street team is probably going to be about 5 to 10 or 12 people. Let's say probably going to be 6 to 12 people, probably going to be $100 for the month, along with a t-shirt and any other rewards from the campaign that they would like. All right, nice. So that's going to be it for this meeting. One, if y'all are interested in the virtual street team, just let us know in the questions in the lobby Discord, and we can answer any questions about that. Any questions about anything else related to the game design or the bouts, go ahead and pop that into questions too. And we will see y'all next week or Thursday. Lurkers assemble to make them feel awkward about leaving. Well, did I just turn something off? Whoa. Okay.
And yeah, congrats again, Brooke. Very good job with your submission. I'll be sending that stuff soon, and also congrats to Nea and
Programmer? Yeah, programmer. Program.mp4. Yeah. As a programmer, that's the silliest name. I love it. I fucking love it. Because you play videos, but you run programs. It's it's great. It's amazing.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. Thanks for joining.
Bye. Nah,
Good night.
we got this. I've been staying on for another 20 minutes while we set up this reference tonight. Yeah, absolutely. This is a thing now. This is a thing now. And then there were 5, technically 6. Workers assembled. Workers use potato couch attack. Yeah, we're trying to start a staring competition. Ina, I said this is going to be a recurring thing. I said we would come back stronger and better, and we did. We might not win the war. Wait, shit.
All right, where's this amphibia?
Good night, Kyle.
All right, yeah, you might have to send me the links to these full episodes. Is it Best Franz? Is that the first? Yes, it is. Okay. That is locked in. That's good to go.
And then there were 4, technically 5.
And Owl House.
Right? What games have you guys been playing? What games have you been playing? Well, Monochrome art making, the best game.
Yeah.
Pokemon Sword, hey! You have to keep touching that one, not too much up there. I need to finish. Did you get Sword? Did I get Shield? How about? I think I got Shield.
Yeah,
I need to finish Shield. Trying to find the last Diglett.
Ooh, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Are you in the DLC?
Virtual Highlander. They have DLC? Don't they have multiple? Yeah.
They have crazy DLC. Like you're literally in Atlantis and there's like gods.
Oh yeah, I remember that
Gods.
one. Is that the only one, or did they have more than one?
I think they have multiple DLC, but I very much so want to check out that because mythology is awesome.
Like Greek mythology? Yeah. I
All
think all mythology is awesome. Yeah.
I mean, they dabble into all of it. It's great. First civilization.
Viking mythology is pretty raw.
I'm a giant Assassin's Creed nerd. So it's pretty fun.
You remember that fairy mythology we went through in that college course?
What's up?
The fairy mythology.
Explain more to me.
We're talking about like all the fairy tales.
Which fairy tale?
The ones about fairies and how they're structurally told in stories. Where we learned about Young and all that.
Okay. I think I remember.
Yes. It was when we learned about Roman, Greek, Viking mythology, Nordic mythology, and we also learned about like fairies. I said there's one other thing I'm blanking on.
We had an incredible teacher too.
Well, and then it goes to the Greek pantheon. Yeah, right? That's be fun. Oh, let's be real. You wanted to go through the Roman pantheon. You remember Percy Jackson? Dude, I love Percy Jackson started with Greek, and then they moved to Egypt, and then they moved to Roman, and then I think they combined like all of that plus like one other thing, I'm pretty sure.
I need to reread the book series. And
you need to read the Egyptian one. The Egyptian one was so fire. Oh my god. I felt like Percy was too central in the first one, and then the Egyptian one, I felt like they were like, we're gonna treat characters a lot more evenly.
I think that.
But then when Percy comes back.
That sounds pretty good. Nice, like that.
Wow, we actually don't listen to many podcasts, but maybe we should. You see, I really think people listen to podcasts. We just like doing it though. I mean,
listening to podcasts or making a podcast?
Listening to podcasts. We tried multiple times to make podcasts. We learned you can't do it recurringly.
Yeah, it's like time.
We can do one episode every 6 months.
Yes.
Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude, like there's a lot of podcasts. Like there's a lot of really good indie game podcasts. Yeah, right. I mean, let's just say there's good podcasts in life, dude. Yeah. And Spotify. There's no reason we shouldn't use podcasts because Spotify has no. It's true. It's true. Does everybody here listen to podcasts? How many people here listen to podcasts? Yeah, we should totally make a rule. If they don't respond to us in like 5 minutes, we win.
Yeah, right.
MBM BAM. MBM BAM? MBM BAM. Huh. I listen to them while I work most. You see, yeah, that's exactly it. I really think it's about while you work, or like while you drive. It's like, you know, when we listen to music, we should be listening to podcasts.
Yeah,
I think we tire out our music way too much.
Yeah, right.
This year alone, I'd learned 3 new genres.
Yeah, you type round up, exclamation mark. And a little flourish, and a little like smiley You didn't do the capital D one? There we go.
My brother, and me. I think I've actually heard that. Wow. Yeah, right. The Amelia Project, that sounds familiar. Victoriosity. Ooh. And hit enter. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like what's the other thing? Audiobooks? I've been trying to get into like audiobooks, but I can't.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like I feel like audiobooks are really hit or miss for me because the narrator.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all in the narrator. Well, that's a crazy toony dartboard.
Yeah.
Yep, narrator problem, yep. Bloody. Yeah, right. Makes sense.
That's totally something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many little things that you can do throughout the day and whenever you work to just stimulate your brain more. It's crazy. I mean, if you're chewing on gum or you listen to a specific type of music when you do specific work, just the little things can help ground information in your brain more because it's not just, oh, I'm listening to it. It's, oh, I am associated with other things that I interact with. So, yes, the brain can stay crazy.
Your gum trick, oh my god, whoa.
My gum trick got me some dank grades.
Whoa.
Don't knock the gum.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Well, shit.
I always had different. I swapped between fruity and mint gum for.
Are you supposed to use the same one? Isn't that just a trick?
Yes, but I also use different ones.
I mean, like, if you, that's what I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, like.
Topically, you should use the same.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to go take my social studies test. Let me just get my strawberry gum. No, it's math. And then bring my mint gum.
It's actually English and not science and math.
I just chew the gum. Oh, yeah, I feel like before high school, people, relatively speaking, studied normally. I feel like when you get into college, you see crazy studying practices, like some cult-like studying practices. Everyone's like, this is my lucky socks, I'm wearing my lucky hoodie, I have my lucky armband, where's my lucky glasses, I need my lucky number 2.
Depends on what school you're in. I think it gets crazier for different majors for sure.
Oh, dude, when I was in CS, I saw people, they were like, this is my test-taking outfit. I have my test-taking time. I have my test-taking breakfast. I have my post-test lunch.
I love it.
Staying up later than you should. Well, what's your grandpa saying? Not your grandma saying?
Grandma saying nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
There we go.
She's right. Nothing good happens after 3 a.m.
Yeah, the post-test lunch. No, you see, the post-test lunch is when you get together with 5 other people from the same exact session that you were in. And you all trade which answers you chose by order of questions. And you also make sure the questions were the same. That's how you guesstimate your grade.
Right.
Hey. Oh, right. It was like for CS exams, they actually they fed your answers to a computer basically, so they gave you most of your answers pretty quick. But for like physics exams, oh no, you totally had to do that to feel even a little bit of confidence during that first week off. These are just like, oh god, I just heard a bunch of answers. I didn't know how physics works. That was a world. Oh my god.
Dude, the one law course that I took, holy freaking moly.
Whether you fail or pass, you're all just relieved the test is over. Not in CS and engineering. Okay, when I switched to art school, it got so much more chill. Engineers, whoo, whoo. But only, I think nursing was way intense. The things I saw the nursing majors go through. Oh, because they had to go into the city and like stay in the city until late and then come back. Yeah. The engineering. Oh, I remember. The Drexel orientation. Yeah. I told you I was sitting there and they were like, yeah, and like, Drexel's job rate is pretty good after college. And then one of the kids stood up and they were like, only if you're an engineer. Edge. Yeah, right. I was like, oh crap. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I think engineers are pretty baller, bro. Drexel, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
so you have engineers in business.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Oh, you went to Drexel Engineering? No, we went to Drexel Art. Sorry. And yes, nursing can get crazy. Like nursing gets nursing is like the classes get really intense because you're literally studying because you have to know stuff on the fly. But then you also have to get like the in-person experience. Like engineers, you can technically get an engineering degree with you have the lab experience, but it's not like you had to have gone out into the field to get an engineering degree. At least as far as I know. But to get a nursing degree, all the ones I've seen, you have to at least do a practice at some sort of. Yeah, right. Like Drexel was interesting. I went into it, and it was like a hospital building, not a hospital building. It was very interesting. Yeah. And then that's more than CS. You program stuff, but you don't have to do real world programming to get a CS degree. That's why I like art so much. You're at least doing real world practice. Yep, you see, graphics arts major, finals were actually just the final versions of the graphic art projects that they've been working on throughout the semester. Yeah, you see, that's why when I switched to the art college, I really like that. It was literally you started on a project somewhat near the beginning of the term, and then your final project was really just finish what you started on for the end of the term. And then there were even classes where it's like, hey, you have multiple terms because it's a series of classes. And then you're just really building out your portfolio. Our major, it got better after we left, but our major sucked a little bit because we didn't get enough game projects in our portfolio. So Nick has a lot of art projects in his portfolio, but not a lot of completely interactive ones. And then I got more interactive ones because I was interactive digital media, but I didn't get a lot of games solely. But I do think Drexel at least sets you up because let's be real, if you're gonna make an indie game, art is literally more than 50% of selling an indie game. So yeah.
Don't get me started on my major.
Yeah.
Massively improved, but
kind of.
Yeah.
You see, it's interesting because sometimes you also have to remember it could be the cohort too. We have different cohorts.
I did not have the best cohorts.
You can say you can look at any of the cohorts and be like, yeah, it's so interesting. That's why I think if you're gonna go through college, definitely try to be a cross cohort, cross year. talk to seniors, talk to freshmen, get to know
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Work in the labs.
No reason to just like
Go to
know
forums.
people only in your classes. Yeah.
And honestly,
If our resume is lacking, that was great. I remember I told somebody I was like interviewing for a job one time. And they're like, "You're interviewing for a job?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I interview." So, you know, just so you know, we're known for being pretty freelance. We don't like having bosses. Clients are a bit different though. They're like bosses that care about what you say. Yeah, our resume. So I feel like once you get like a bit further in, I feel like once you exit college, people look at like your resume and your portfolio. But I don't know. Now I'm just like, if I were to get a job, I feel like that one time I applied to that one job, I feel like they looked at my resume, but it wasn't really the resume that got it. It was everything else I did.
I think the interview is a huge part.
Oh, the interview is the biggest part. Oh, no matter what, the interview is the biggest part because you have to fit the company. Like, for example, before the interview, I sent my resume and like a cover letter, but I also went on Facebook, interacted with the company and shared their media. I went on LinkedIn, interacted with the company, said congratulations to some of the employees. And then I did like one other thing on a different platform, like Twitter or something. And then literally the CEO saw me doing that. He like commented, he was like, "Excited for your interview."
Yes.
Yeah, working for yourself. So I think the caveat, if you work for somebody else, you have stability and you have less stress. And you can at least direct your stress at like external things.
You have a bit more free time.
I know you have hella more free time. Yeah. When you work for yourself, one, you always have to put the blame on yourself because it is always your problem. It's like you led to it. Yeah. Two, there's definitely less stability because you're always looking for like that next gig until you reach stability, which hopefully you do reach, but that takes like 5 to 10 years. And then outside of that, I just really feel like there's no guidance, you know, like it's really, you have to constantly be figuring things out. If you have a mentor, that's pretty different.
Yeah, unfortunately, especially in the art field, especially in the game field, I mean, there's not a lot of public knowledge and processes that they share with people. I mean, you can glean it from talks, but
you have to remember, so games. Yeah. So yeah, I think art it isn't really a problem. I think it depends on the teacher. I think with games, we only have like 2 generations of game developers tops. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, definitely. Again, working a job and working freelance. Yeah, it's 2 perspectives on living. Everybody is welcome to perspective. But yeah, I think the game industry, I just think it's because we have 2 generations of like professionals, and that's really like, you know, that's small compared to like all of art. We're like, we have endless generations because art has, relatively speaking, existed since humans could pick up something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Millions of years ago.
Yeah, right. But
I will never forget that one moment in the college class when someone's like, they're like, yeah, I mean, 5,000 years ago we evolved from cavemen. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? That was like a million or 2 million years ago.
5,000 years ago.
Any thoughts on this? This is a hot and fresh concept, finalized concept for the stash.
I think we gotta make the gloves white, like traditional.
Yeah.
And then yeah, there's pros and cons to both. Freelance still sounds better than like I thought myself, like preferring work. Okay, for games, learning in college.
Yeah, you know what that means? You know, we're gonna give you a ton more work.
Well, oh yeah, the workshop is very like, you do work, you get more work.
Yeah.
I think that's how jobs work though. Like think about office, you do work, you get more work. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I definitely think for our generation, like if you look at millennials and how they've set up like work as a whole, they're switching between jobs a lot more. So job stability isn't really a thing anymore.
Yeah, the economy is the
yep. So you have to, if you relatively speaking, don't know how to like from a freelancer sense sell yourself to like various companies, then I do feel like you're inhibiting how much you could potentially make.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
you're working a main job, as long as you're spending a good amount of your free time diverting resources and thought to your own personal brand, I think you're setting yourself up for success.
Yeah, right.
And more.
Or I mean, like, you could be neo-Fordistic and, you know, like, just completely devote yourself to the job opportunity, but in return, the job opportunity should be giving some of themselves to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the caveat. Yeah.
Growth. Yeah. Measure.
Yeah, slash before C++. Interesting.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, man?
My
I think
thoughts?
the gut needs to be.
Oh, so my thoughts are, one, his body's supposed to be like a triangle, so his shoulders should be wider, gut should be slimmer. He's like skinny politician.
Yeah, right.
And then his head, does he need that? Maybe. His arms should be skinnier. I like the shine on the shoes. I like the general shape of the shoes. The bottom seems fine. The gloves seem fine. They should just be white. The face, like the nose and around the eyes, should be white. And then I think we just gotta make the cigar lit instead of cut. It looks like he cut the cigar and then put it in his mouth without lighting it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he should be more wireframey, like a bit lankier, skinnier.
lankier is the word. More a spindly kind of boss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, Biden? 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 Lanky?
Biden?
Yeah.
You mean presidential?
No, the other one.
Dynamics. I think it's a classic old white dude bod.
Whoa!
Not Trump bod, but
Well, Trump is a gut president.
yeah.
Yeah. I think those are really the two types, right?
Yeah, right.
When you think about politicians. Yeah.
There got the hella beer belly. and
And then, you know, you have like Barack Obama, sexy as fuck. Episode 1 of the Monochrome podcast is Biden lanky. Episode 2, how sexy is Obama? Sincerely, they'll line up the presidents.
right.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. We spend the next 4 years ranking presidential bodies, and then for this 2024 election, we're just like, based on these candidates,
We have the formula.
yeah, right.
You know who
Well, technically, we can't. We can't because we need a female president. We need a woman president. Dude.
Right.
I was pissed when
Warren.
yes, Warren. Thank you so much. When Warren dropped, everybody was pissed when Sanders dropped.
Dude, this is really, you're gonna fall back to Biden.
We're like, just gonna fall back to the classic election.
It's literally like, can we not get a progressive, please? Oh, yeah, it's getting very political. Yes.
Yeah, right. Oh God, yes. It's okay. See, we're good.
That's maniacs.
Well, I mean, yeah, you should always say, wait, Animaniacs president song? Yeah, right. We just well. The animation for it shows all of them updated with the rankings as the episodes come out. Whoa. Just post it on like a wall or something. All right, awesome. So, yeah, the lurkers win again, but we'll be back and we will win the battle.
Yeah, we'll just be silent. We won't say anything for like 10 minutes. It'll be entirely on.
But you see, we have to say something because that's how we know they're there. Otherwise, we don't even know if they're there. They could just be messing with us forever. Oh, this is gonna be something.
Yeah.
No
That's true.
statements after 5
That's true.
minutes.
That's true.
We always win. Okay, Ina. All right, we'll be back next week. All right, see y'all hopefully at the reference night. Bye, everyone.
Good night.